Anyone can sell electronics. At Electronics Expo, they do more than sell products. They design, install, and support complete technology solutions. From home theaters and whole home audio to lighting, shades, automation, networking, security cameras, and premium entertainment systems. For over 22 years, they've helped thousands of homeowners experience technology at its very best. See the difference for yourself. Visit their Wayne or Paramus stores in New Jersey or shop now at electronicsexpo.com.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Taxi!
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Let's talk about what's happening here in the United States. Utah yesterday, Tyler Robinson, the alleged murderer of Charlie Kirk, in the courtroom. First time ever that Charlie's widow, Erika Kirk, and Charlie's mom and dad were in the same room, staring face to face with the alleged killer. Very emotional day, and who better to speak to than my friend Donna Rotunno, who does an amazing job covering all these big cases. She's a big-time attorney for Fox News. So with that said, Donna, welcome back. How are you, sweetheart?
Welcome for me. Thank you, Sid. I'm so happy to be welcomed by you. How are you this morning?
I'm great. You know, yesterday, before we get to Tyler Robinson, on the program, he made his debut, first time ever. Hall of Fame linebacker, number 54, Brian Urlacher of the Chicago Bears. He was on yesterday because he loves Trump and he loves me. Turns out now he likes he likes all my stuff on Instagram. That's how I found out he likes me. I DM'd him. I go, hey, are you following me? He goes, I love you. So I put him on the show yesterday. And I brought up you, and I said, my friend Donna Rotunno was telling me that the Bears may leave Chicago. And he said, look, I don't like J.B. Pritzker. I don't like Brandon Johnson. And that still may happen. The Bears may still leave Chicago. Is that true?
You know, we keep trying to convince ourselves that it's not true, but I have to tell you, Sid, I don't see any other path for them. Now, granted, we can talk about the Bears organization and why the billionaire owner should put their own money into this stadium and why they should stay. And I agree with all that. But at the same time, from a business decision, you would understand why people would say, I want to get out of Chicago. So we'll see what happens. Of course, as fans, we are continuing to hold on to hope that they will stay. But I'm telling you, I don't have a great feeling about it. They're definitely not staying in the city. Will they stay in Illinois? Possibly, but I don't see any path in which they stay in the city of Chicago, which makes me incredibly sad.
Oh, my God, it makes me sad, too. I'm a Giant fan. I have no love for the Bears, but I've been to Soldier Field and the rich history. You know, I mentioned Urlacher's in the Hall of Fame. Before him, linebackers like Mike Singletary and Dick Butkus, all those great defensive players, and that amazing 85 team that beat the Patriots and won the Super Bowl, Jim McMahon. I mean, that team can't leave. If they do leave Illinois, where are they talking about going?
They're talking about going to Indiana, right over the border. Indiana, a much more friendly business state. Indiana's trying to welcome them with open arms. Now, I'm hearing that there's some problems with the land that they're looking at in Indiana for a variety of reasons. So we'll see what happens. But this is definitely dragging on, and you know we're very sad if it were to come.
Oh
to
my!
fruition.
You're telling me that they could end up being the Indiana Bears?
Well, you know, they would still call them the Chicago Bears, I think, just like the Giants and the Jets who do play in New Jersey.
Right.
So I do think that they would probably still call them the Chicago Bears. But, you know, I don't know. It will be a sad day if it happens, and just not as, I think, fun to say I'm going to the Bears game in Indiana on Sunday afternoon.
I mean, it makes no sense. No, it's terrible. All right, so I'll keep my eye on that. I'm actually rooting for you. I know you and your dad, Donna, you love to watch your Bears there at Soldier Field in Chicago, so hopefully the team doesn't leave. Let's get to the issue at hand, which is Erika Kirk and Charlie Kirk's mom and dad in the courtroom yesterday. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this hearing, which is all week long, is all about making sure there is enough evidence to bring a murder charge to Tyler Robinson. Is that right?
Yes, that's exactly right. So a preliminary hearing is a probable cause standard to show that the government has enough evidence that a crime occurred and that it is possible that Mr. Robinson committed that crime. So it's a very low standard. They do not need to establish evidence as you would at a trial where the standard of proof is beyond a reasonable doubt. Really, these are normally very routine. This has been very strange out in Utah, how long this is taking, this process. I mean, remember, Charlie was shot in September, and here we are now, July. And in most jurisdictions, where you live, where I live, preliminary hearings or indictments happen within 30 to 60 days. So this has just been a very labored and long process. And so I'm hoping that this week this is wrapped up and we can move on to getting ready for the trial phase of this case.
And once they get to the trial, correct me if I'm wrong, but the prosecution ideally would like the death penalty for Tyler Robinson, yes?
That is correct. That is correct.
All right, so give me, yesterday was so emotional that I guess some of the testimony, there was video, was so graphic that at one point Erika Kirk, Charlie's widow, and Charlie's mom and dad had to leave the courtroom. They couldn't even watch it. I know Donald Trump Jr., who was very, very, very close with Charlie, he was sitting there too. So give me the gory details, unfortunately, of what these poor people went through yesterday.
Well, you have to think about it. I mean, and they put out a statement yesterday saying that every time this case goes to court, they have to relive the awful day where Charlie was murdered. And you can absolutely understand that. These courtrooms have to be technical in the sense that they have to go through what happened. And obviously part of what happened was this awful shooting. And there's a video of the shooting that, of course, was, online and many people saw. And so when they got into the actual shooting and the circumstances of that, the family got up and left. And the judge told them ahead of time that they could absolutely do that if there were points that they don't want to hear. And I'm sure it's just something that they don't want to continue to relive. And frankly, they probably don't want everyone sitting around them watching their reaction to that. So I don't blame them. This is something they live every day, whether it's happening in a courtroom or not. But I'm sure having other people watch and then be able to comment on your reaction is not something that you want to have happen.
I remember that day so well, and I was on a ferry, and I saw the video, and I said, he's dead. I mean, the amount of blood that was shooting out of his neck, and I remember, and it wasn't right of me, but I got angry with Glenn Beck because Glenn Beck was on with Megyn Kelly going on and on about how they've got blood transfusions, and he's improving, and I'm saying to myself, improving, he died right there. I'm sorry. Just like, the Savannah Guthrie's mother, okay? She's been dead since that night, since that first night. And I was like, why? And I understand they wanted to, hold out hope and did want to destroy Erika and the family. But if you watched that video, I'm sorry, there was no way anyone can survive that. Anyone.
Correct. Yeah, I agree with you. I watched it. I didn't even know what I was watching. Someone sent it to me, and I clicked on it, and I was like, "Oh my God!" Yeah, I agree. There was no coming back from something as awful as that.
So, is there any reason to believe that there's not enough evidence to try Tyler Robinson after this week?
No, not at all. There's going to be a finding of probable cause. All of this that we're going through, this process, of course, Tyler Robinson is entitled to his due process, and he is innocent until proven guilty, and his lawyers should challenge evidence. I do feel in some ways they are going overboard in terms of some of the challenges here. Some of this is legal 101. Some of the things they're objecting to are coming in no matter how many times they object and jump up and down and yell about it. I do think it's all going to be a formality in the end, and we will move on, and this case will eventually go to trial. And because it's 100 degrees here, I'm hoping that if it does go to trial, it goes to trial when the weather is a little bit more pleasant to be out here.
I know, but it gets very chilly in Utah very, very quickly, so, you'll be fine. You have any idea why Tyler Robinson has not entered a plea yet?
Yes. So it's very similar where I practice law mostly in Illinois. So normally a probable cause preliminary hearing, it has to happen before your formal charges are brought. So the charges he is facing are now technically signed complaints. And once the judge finds probable cause, then it is the information that is actually charging you. And once the probable cause happens, that's when you will enter a plea. So that's why normally in a lot of cases it happens much faster, because this process happens faster. And just so people listening understand, a finding of probable cause at a preliminary hearing is the exact thing as a true bill after an indictment. Utah does not have a grand jury process to get an indictment. If they did, my guess is this would have been an indictment. We never would have heard about this. It would have been done in 30 days, and he would have entered his plea, and we would be moving on. But Utah does not have a grand jury process.
Got it.